Alright guys, we are back doing another Omnibus ranking, and today I am actually talking about the Women of Gotham, and what that means is I'm going to focus on solo titles mostly of these characters, so I'm not talking about Gotham Sirens or Birds of Prey. I feel like that could be its own video. I'm trying to decide if I want to make just a team book of Gotham, which with Secret 6, I guess you could put them in, but maybe not. I don't know yet, but I didn't want to add them in because Birds of Prey is its own series, has many runs, and I'm assuming we're going to get Volume 2 announced and so on, so I feel like that's its own video. So, focusing on Batgirl, Catwoman, Batwoman, and Harley Quinn here. These are mostly the ones who have gotten omnibuses that are women who mostly reside in Gotham. You know, they have other areas they go to, of course, but their origins or where they started is pretty much Gotham. And of course, if you're talking about something else, if there's another character I missed, please list them below. But these are the ones that came to my mind. These are the ones that I read. I say let's just jump right into it. So Batgirl Bronze Age is, let me make it clear, the Silver Age and Bronze Age are iffy eras for me because there's very few things I like from them a lot. It's just the wording, the way the characters are written. It's not something that really connects with me. I am not that generation. I got into comics mostly in the mid-90s, early 2000s, so to me that's my speed of comics and how they're written. It's not that I don't like any 80s comics. I absolutely love something like Moon Knight, but Batgirl, I read a lot of this because I wanted to prepare for I read every Batgirl issue. Now, none of these issues really are hers other than a couple of specials. They're mostly shared with, like, Batman or other Bat family characters. But it's kind of cool to see Barbara in the spotlight here because right after this, right when we get to the modern age, she is shot and becomes, oh my god. I'm thinking Orphan, but that's not. That's Cass later on in New 52. Oracle. Jesus Christ, I'm losing my mind. Sorry, it's early in the morning. So it's kind of cool to see her early adventures. It's something that I thought was okay. I didn't hate reading this, but a lot of it was like super cheesy for me at points. So for that alone, this isn't something I'd probably reread ever again. But I think for fans of the character, it's something that you should check out. You can just read here or there. A lot of these issues are just one-shots. You can read here and then not read the rest of the run, but it's mostly Detective Comics that she stars in. So yeah, where would I put this? I'm just gonna put solid but has issues, and this is actually gonna have volume 1 and 2 in this because to me they all blended together. It's all the same era, and it's all the era where I'm just like, they're okay reads, not badly written, not dumb, but it's also just solid. Like, it's okay, you know, it is better than okay. It's good, but it's not great for me, and of course this is someone who this era is not for them. Alright, so Batgirl New 52 was reintroducing the world to Barbara as Batgirl because, like I said, in 1987 or so, or 88, Batgirl got shot, and she became Oracle after that. And she's a big character in the 90s and 2000s, especially as a Birds of Prey, which I will talk about one day when I get to that video. However, New 52 wanted to reestablish a lot of characters, and they did that with Barbara suddenly healing from being paralyzed. It was a questionable choice. A lot of people felt that it was really wrong and looked down on disabled characters. I am in the camp where I don't love it, but I'm also in the camp of, like, we're in the superhero world, and all these amazing minds that can create, like, cures of things that are uncurable in real life. I just felt like this made sense that this can happen. But also, I liked her character progression as Oracle, so I didn't see really the point of doing this, other than just having Barbara come back as Batgirl because of her name recognition. So what did I think of this, though? Well, it's Gail Simone, so it's always going to be good. But I do have a couple of issues with this overall run, especially in the later half. I'd say the last third of this run gets really weird, and I don't know if it's editorial. I don't know if Gail Simone, I think she was having trouble with DC at this point, was going in and out of being part of their team and vision, but the last few issues of this run are just kind of like weird nonsense. I did not like that. Now, the first half of this run is pretty damn good. It kind of reestablishes Barbara as a little bit older back character. She's in like, you know, early adulthood. She's dealing with a love life. She's dealing with roommates. She's dealing with her father's relationship, and all of that works really well. Batgirl is also really cool in here. She has a different fighting style. One thing I like about Batgirl, this Batgirl, she's not super like on it with fighting. She's never going to be as good as Cass, but she has that kind of fun personality, similar to Stephanie. I'd say Stephanie and her are more similar. Stephanie a little bit more bubbly, I would say. But yeah, overall, this is a good run. I would probably put it on high, solid, but has issues, or low, pretty great. Just because I liked it quite a bit more than the bronze and classic age, I'm going to put it in pretty great, but it's pretty low, pretty great. Like 7.5, almost an 8. The first half, definitely an 8. The later half, not so much. All right, so we're going to talk about Batgirl Burnside. So after Gail Simone left, they kind of wanted to reestablish Barbara and make her much more young adult style. So the dialogue changed to more cheesy, like, girl, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just lower the screen because I can't see on the screen. And in doing so, they made possibly the worst Batgirl series, in my opinion. This is the worst up until Batgirls, which comes later with Cass and Stephanie. That's also really awful, but I think this is worse. This is almost unreadable on reread. So I read this all a long time ago, and I didn't like it. And then I reread it, or attempted to, but I can only get 2 arcs in before I said, no, this is fucking trash. This isn't well written. The art is kind of cool because it feels different and looks different, but it can't save this awful storytelling and this awful characters. Also, the writer turned out to be like a sick predator or something. I don't know exactly the story, but yeah, this shit sucks. If there's anything I have to say about this is a throwaway. I would actually pretend this doesn't exist in my mind. There's no such thing as Batgirl Burnside, and I like to keep it that way because it's bad character development, bad plotting, and it's very short omnibus, like 22 issues, but maybe that's a fucking godsend because it's such an awful run. Kind of like every single book ever, sometimes the endings of these runs aren't as strong, and if I have to pick a negative out of Catwoman, it would be like the last 7-8 issues, well, not bad, or just good. Everything before that in this omnibus is fucking great. If you want to see character development and you want to see Selina give respect and well-written character on top of some of really cool art that is different, has this noir feel, this run is phenomenal. I really loved a lot of it. If it wasn't for the last 8 issues, this would be like a 5 out of 5 for me, but unfortunately, those last 8 issues do bring it down to like a 4 out of 5, probably, because it was just such a stark difference. Like, if it was any other run, it'd still be good, but compared to it, it's not nearly as good. Saying that, if you want Batwoman who is more of this, has the character thief in her, but has this crime element that I feel like, for some reason, we're just missing in a lot of Catwoman stories, this is the book to pick up. This is a must-read, hands down, must-read. Even with the weaker last few issues, this is a must-read, and to me, it's like the character-defining omnibus for Selina. So, New 52 Catwoman omnibus, at the time of this video, has not come out yet, but I've read all New 52 Catwoman, and this has 2 different writers in this omnibus from the issues that were solicited, and when I say stark difference, it's a difference. Now, not everybody liked Judd Winnick's... Winnick? Is that how you say his name? I always get his name wrong. I'm so sorry if you're watching this. Not everybody likes his style. It's kind of edgy at times. Personally, I love that. I'm from the early 2000s reading, so it hits me. But his Catwoman, to me, is really sexual, really fun, and really vibrant. And it also has some really, like, harsh elements of brutal fighting. So, for me, even though he's only in the first, like, 12, 13 issues, I thought he did a great job of reestablishing Selina in a more mature, darker way, while also having her sexual being very high priority, because that's who Selina is. And that's okay. It's okay to have characters who are very sexual. But then, Anne Nesenti, I believe is how you say her name. I think her Daredevil run's great. If you watch my Omnibus review, I really enjoy her stuff. This possibly is the worst Catwoman stuff I've ever read. Maybe there's some stuff later in Rebirth that's pretty bad, but this is not good. It's hard to read. I will say sometimes it's so bad it's entertaining. I did a video on one of the arcs and they were so awful. Basically, she's almost always ends up naked or barely any clothes, which, you know, who am I to say that's a bad thing? I love Selena. She has a sexy body, but it just feels gross, which is kind of weird because being written by Anne, who seems to be, you know, a strong, she likes to write strong female characters. I thought it was really weird. It felt almost degrading in a way. So this is a hard omnibus to kind of judge because I actually really like Judd's beginning, but he only is on it for 12, 13 issues, and then it gets really bad really fast, like really fast. So fuck, man. I put it in solid, but has issues. I am, because that's how much I enjoy. Oops, sorry. That's how much I enjoy Judd's part of this run. I think it's actually really fun. So for that alone, I think if it was all written by Judd, this would probably end up pretty great, in my opinion. You know, it's not like phenomenal writing, but it's really entertaining. But that and stuff is really, really hard to read, so I can't give it any higher than solid. So yeah, solid but has issues. If you could pick this up on sale, like $50, I'd say it's worth it, 40, 50 bucks. I don't know if it's worth anything more than that, though, if I'm being honest. All right, so Harley Quinn, I know there's 3 of these. I don't know if anybody here is a huge Harley Quinn fan. Probably. And if you are, yeah, that's cool. I don't dislike Harley Quinn. I actually quite like some of her series. I think Harleen is great. I really, really, really liked her in the Batman run by Tinian. I thought she was a great like co-star or Bat family member. So I do like her. I think she's great in Injustice, but fuck, man. Her main series never really do it for me, and I am not a big fan of these 2 writers. I think it's Amanda something and Jimmy something. I think they're a married couple. It's so goofy. It's so corny. It's I would say the art is, you know, fun. It's bubbly gum fun and enjoyable. So like flipping through it, I don't mind, but the storylines are just so bad. I just don't like any of these runs, which sucks because I want to like Harley Quinn's like main runs, but something about her, she feels so much like Deadpool, and kind of like Deadpool, I don't really like a lot of his solo runs. I think a lot of them are just okay. So yeah, Harley Quinn, I'm going to put an okay-ish because I think that the art is nice, but that's all I can give it credit for. Everything else is just all right. Last but not least is Batwoman, and her run is written by Greg Rucka for the first like 200-300 pages, and then the second half is written by J.H. Williams, and most of this is great. I'm just gonna say it right there. It's a lot of fun. It has that Batman feel, where, you know, it's just gritty, has a lot of secrets, a lot of family drama, a lot of who do you trust, a lot of you told me this, but this isn't what really happened. You know, all the stuff that you like when you're reading these type of stories for like Batgirl, Batman, and now Batwoman. So I really enjoyed a lot of this. The art is phenomenal. J.H. Williams is an excellent artist. He's a good storyteller, though I will say his story arc with Wonder Woman in this was absolutely terrible. Not terrible, but bad. It was overly written. He was like almost overcompensating for his art. Like there were parts where his whole pages were filled with wording that covered his beautiful art, and he's the type of artist that can tell a story with his art. So I really wondered what happened there. I didn't like that arc much at all, but if you take that one arc out, this is a great run. It just develops Kate so well as her own character and makes her a formidable foe for villains. And I think she goes to extreme lengths just like Bruce, so she's very relatable in that sense. So yeah, what do I think of this? I think it's fucking great. I think it's a must read just simply because we haven't really got much Batwoman after that. And I am going to do a video on Batwoman because of the character herself. I've read every issue from her. I've even read where she is like kind of guest starring, and I just want to do a short video on her because honestly she only has these 2 runs and then finishes up New 52 with Mark Andreyko, and then after that she has a Rebirth run that is not very long, like 20 issues, and that's it. She has not had a run since then. She was part of the Detective Comics on Rebirth, but it's not enough, you know, to me. I feel like they're not using her character's potential enough because she was so well written here. So I think this is a must read. I'd say Catwoman is better overall for me. I just like Ed Brubaker's writing style a little bit more and noir crime style. But Batwoman is right behind it. I think these two are the most like must reads on this entire list. Everything else you could read if you want to check out these characters. I think Batgirl Returns by Gail Simone is good. It has its ups and downs, but it's a good, fun time. And same thing with Catwoman for New 52. Batgirl, if you like older stuff, sure. Honestly, Harley Quinn, you could just skip unless you're a mega fan. And Batgirl Burnside, let's just pretend that shit never existed because it fucking sucks big balls. But I hope you liked my video. If you did, like always, all I ask you to do is hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. I do daily comic videos, I do video game videos, and then I also like to do these omnibus rankings. These come out slower, like once, maybe twice a month, because there's only so many omnibuses and only so many I've read that I have to read them to do these type of videos. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and most of all, I love to see your list. If you read all these, where would you rank them? If I missed any, Women of Gotham. And again, I'm not talking about Gotham Sirens or Birds of Prey. That will be a separate like team book video. But if you have characters I missed that are omnibuses, please list them below and let me know what you think of them. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And everybody, have a wonderful comic-filled